per se. So I'll just swiftly move into what Irene is calling technicalities. But before I do that, let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Damaris Ndungwa. As many people know me, they know me by that name. I am an HR professional, but I have a bit of bias, a lot in learning and development. For over 14 years, that's what I've done, and I loved it. It's a way I influence the space in HR through organization transformation, OD, and talent development. I currently support through work in Blue Concepts Africa as a director in learning in that space. So here in this HR Awards Kenya, I advise as a technical lead. And here I guess now you see where Irene is coming with the word technical aspect of the awards, because it's quite a process. Just to mention about the structure of the HR awards, we have a structure that allows us to be able to progress and be a little bit meticulous in the process. And one of it is the steering team that has coordinated this session. And this includes Irene, who is more so chairing in this technical committee that has several other people who are part of it, including myself. And from there, of course, is through the leadership of the Institute. That's why we have Kuresha, the ED, joining us today. And we also have the judging panel, who play the critical role of being able to assess the process and assess entries and be able to actually guide the Institute in getting the finalists for the awards. So that's all of the structure. I want to share some slides here on that can allow us to move a little bit swift. I am a learning and development person. So, you know, sometimes we appreciate people like seeing as they learn. So when you see my slides, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. Irene, has it come through? Not yet.
It had.
It hard. Okay. Someone disabled. Okay. I need you to allow me, Dan, if you're there, because it's disabled now. Okay. Let me know when I'm ready and can share. But just to proceed, as Dan is connecting me to be able to share.
Okay, you can share.
I can share right now. Okay, good. Let me try it again, just in a few seconds. Okay. Let me know when it just comes through, so I don't leave somebody behind.
We can see it. You can put it on slideshow.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to put it in slideshow. I hope it reflects from your side.
Yes,
okay, good.
Now.
Okay, good. Thanks very much, Irene. So there's a lot I'll skip ahead here because Irene has told us about the strategic direction of these awards in Kenya in regards to the vision, the guiding principles, and all the objectives that we have. So I will focus more on what categories these 2022 HR awards are put up to HR professionals to be able to submit and get awarded around. And then a bit of the judging criteria, and then the submission process of the awards. So, because those are the major areas that we get a lot of questions around. So the HR awards categories, as Irene has summarized there, those who got the opportunity to participate last year, you know, we had two major categories, that is individual categories and organization categories per se. That's where we got a lot of people participate as well as get awarded for excellence in their the submissions and say excellence. Actually, the bigger overall objective of this award is to be able to award excellence in this space of HR. So when you look at this year's categories, there are 5 right now through consultation, use of surveys. The survey we did just to engage members of the institute. The feedback we got, that's how we got to make a decision to expand the categories, and that's why there are 5 this year. And just to mention, as you can see there's individual categories. We have categories for organizations, and these organizations are the ones out of the government, the county government, and the public, county public boards, which is County Service Board and the County Assembly Service Board as well. So NGOs, learning institutions, you know, all that come under organization. So if you're there, that category has a lot of awards that you can participate that I want just to outline now. Going to the individual category, and if I'm moving fast because we just had 1 hour, just stop me. No offense, I'll be able to actually post, but I want to move a little bit faster now. So when you go to the individual category, if you've been in the portal, because the HR Awards have a portal that has been going around through a link, you must have seen this category. It has 5 awards under it. And just to mention, the new very ingenious award here that was introduced this year is about the best people focused CEO or MD of the year. We recognize that human resource management as a profession is already has actually people who are CEOs and they are still HR. So we are excelling in this space. So how do we continue reinforcing the same for us as an HR body? And that's what this award is among other things attempting to actually reinforce. We have the HR Director of the Year that has been there for the last 2 editions and is still there, very valid. HR Rising Star, HR Trendsetter of the Year, and HR Mentor of the Year. So this year we have those 5 under individual categories. We'll talk a bit about, because by look of that, it's just the title, the titles of the awards. There's a lot into description, expectation around each one of them. That's why when you go to the portal, you will see categories defined and what they mean. The second category is the organization category, which has 6 awards under it. And most of these awards have been there, except I think the workplace, I think the best transformation or change strategy of the year and the work-life integration strategy of the year. And these ones are very critical when if you are a proponent of understanding the trends of HR, you'll agree those 2 are also very critical. So we tweaked that around the feedback and the research we've had from the previous ones and this year as well. These ones also are quite described in the descriptions of what each one of them is expecting, because through the description is how you understand the thresholds beside the terms of and conditions for engagement on the same, which we'll talk a bit about. Moving on to the 3rd category, which is rather a new category. I didn't mention this. This is to sort of bring on board the public sector. And that was the kind of discussion that Irene was alluding to. So to be able to reinforce certain aspects of HR within the government sector, that's why this kind of a category was created for this year and probably moving forward. Just to start off, as you can see, there are 2 awards under it. And first is to award most diverse and inclusive ministries. That has its own threshold and meaning within the description, and also the HR management or human resource management excellence within the ministries. That also has its own threshold on definition in the category definition. We also have the state corporations, because there are really many and they impact a lot. There are a lot of human resource contributions going on through the state corporations. Again, it's a new category. We mentioned that with also 2 awards under it. as you will appreciate, moving forward in the new categories, there are only 2 introductory awards that have been introduced under each, and each is measuring diversity and inclusion and excellence in human resource management for all of them, even when you look at the county governments and also the boards within the county governments. So you see, these are the 2 reinforcement we are, the awards is trying, as picked first of all to start with, and probably moving forward, definitely they might be able to expand. So I've repeated this, the categories defined, that is defined with an S, because when you are submitting, by just merely reading the titles of the awards might not actually give you a deeper picture and understanding on what do I need to submit. When you read through the descriptions, which is easy, when you go to the portal of the HR awards, it's in every e-card that's going out. You realize, and you will actually be better informed on how to what and how to submit. And I would urge, because for many people have shown interest even to submit today and tomorrow before the deadline, just take time, look at it. And I insist because I know what happens through the evaluation. Evaluations are very objective, definitely, and aligned to what the criteria are, from the definition of the awards itself to the process of admission and the requirements in the admission. So take time, look into the definitions. There are quite many, as you can see, the specific awards are quite a number. So we may not be able to have time to go through the definitions here, but they're already on the portal. They already have been actually shared widely in the social media by the Institute as well. So the other objective we wanted actually to bring out today is the awards entry or submission process. It's being done online, as you can see, with simple forms from Google Forms. Those who have submitted, because I'm told that there's quite a number who've already submitted, will tell you the process is quite, as provided a way of verification through the structure of the entries. You'll find for the purpose of verification, you will be needed to submit some contacts of maybe the person nominating you or the referee in case of the individual categories. The purpose of that definitely is to be able to verify the entry that you will submit at some level, if the need be, for us to submit, because the process of HR awards in Kenya is quite verifiable right now. I hope we'll get some minutes for either Dan or Natasha to demonstrate quickly so people can see how simple the process is. But allow me just to quite skip that. We'll come back into it. I want to talk a bit about the awards judging criteria overview. And for those who just sitting and wondering how does these awards get to be judged or assessed, it has 3 levels, just to mention. After the entries have been submitted, hopefully, and the deadline has closed, the judging process or assessment process starts. I mentioned in the structure of the HR awards, there is a judging panel whose process is to assess the entries and be able to pronounce the finalists of the awards. So the first level of this judging process or criteria is through the primary evaluation. And the primary evaluation is simply an elimination. For those who have taken time to look into what I'm saying, the definitions of the HR awards per category, and I've looked into the terms and conditions of the HR awards, will tell you there are things that are needed. When you look into the entry form, it will also tell you what you need to also indicate. And those are some, just to mention, elements among others that can be used to eliminate if you didn't meet the threshold or around that criteria. And moving forward, definitely, from that, there is some people who will emerge, others will be knocked off and all that. So it moves to secondary evaluation, which is now the technical assessment of your submission. And this entails a detailed and comprehensive look into your submission, the initiative you've submitted probably, or the project that you put up there for evaluation. And that is very important, especially in these HR awards, because you're talking about excellence, and excellence has been defined there in the introduction of these awards, what it entails. We want to award contribution, an immense contribution towards various aspects of your workspaces, your career, your skills, your competence, and all that. So this is where the HR itself and your whole contribution gets to be assessed. You're around that. So this is big. I would say it's big because in terms of evaluation and scoring, it sort of gets the highest scores. And then the third one, which has been motivated by the purpose and reason to have us as members of the institute to be part of the process of the HR awards, is voting. And besides being able to submit and nominate, which is a way of participating as well, we also get an opportunity to say we feel this is the best nominee because of ABCD. So voting will be the last sort of stage in this judging criteria, and that itself has its own scores as well. But like I said and allude, the technical aspect takes the day to just mention. In other words, it would be something like 80 and 20 through the technical judging framework. I hope if you have a question around there, just put it down. You will raise it up towards the end. So the next thing I wanted to mention here, I don't know where it has gone now. What is it? Let me just pull it a bit down so I can see what's missing. It's the awards terms and conditions. I mean, I can't overemphasize this because these terms and conditions will tell you your eligibility first, whether you're eligible or not, because there's no point of submitting if you're not eligible for the award. So it is the first place you want to look at. It will tell you who can participate, who can't participate, what information is required, what's the information for, and all that. So it's important you check the terms and conditions, the general terms and conditions of that. Please, when you go to the submission page, don't skip just the information given up there. Sometimes we do like that a lot in exams. We feel we know the instructions. Please take time and read it. It can give you some insights even before you submit on some things you have missed. So just peruse through to understand that. The entire awards necessary information that you need to know is being put in what is called the HR Awards Information Pack. It has actually its own link. I think Dan had created that and was going around with the e-cards. But when you land in the page on the portal for awards, it's actually there, the information pack. Just take time. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is because if you miss some things, it will be, spotted in the process of judging and might knock you off. So it's important to look at this before you rush to the form and complete. It actually enables you to even do that first when you go to the form entry form to submit as well. So check on the terms and conditions, very critical there. And then the HR awards entry process. I don't know whether Dan, you're ready. You could quickly just run us through, or Natasha. You're mute. Dan, are you there, or Natasha?
Damaris, this is Irene.
Oh yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, we're having trouble with the internet. Like for me, just dropped. So I'm lost. What do you need?
Okay. I was asking whether Natasha or Dan is ready to just demonstrate a bit on how the process of submission looks like.
To open the Google form?
Yes.
Wow. Are you able to open it from your end?
Okay, maybe as Natasha finds a Google form, I'll just run you through the process. When you click the link of submission, it will get you to several links, and that several links have the several links have different categories. So it will be written the category within that link. So when you click, for example, the individual category, it will take you to a Google form. And that Google form is sort of branched. For those who have submitted will tell you it's sort of branched. Why is it branched? It's because there is a way you can get nominated, and there are two ways. You can self-nominate yourself, but you'll have to get a secondment from a referee, or you can be nominated by someone else. I mean, by an organization. Let's say you work within an organization, you can be nominated by someone from the organization. Yes, I can see the form now. So it will ask you whether you're self-nominating yourself or you're being nominated by others. Okay. Okay, right there. Please select your category. Then when you select your category right there, you click next. So whatever category you click, you enter there. I think you'll need to enter. We can demonstrate like live. Just put anything. Just select there. Choose your category down there. Yes, yes. You can put HR rising staff, for example. Yes. Then next. When you click next, like there is your mode of select nomination. Then you choose that. So when you choose, you see, for example, I'm self-nominating. It's a self-nomination. Self-nomination. Okay. Then this is where now the form starts branching, because if you click the other one, it will lead you to nomination by others. So here is just details that you need to fill here. That is first of all for yourself. What is your name? And oh, this is very important because it's what we use to identify you for nominees and all that as we move forward. So you can scroll as you move down. Maybe you can just key in anything. Is that Natasha? You can key in anything because these details are just your name. Just key, put anything there. Yeah. Then Mr. Natasha, work title, just anything. It's okay. It's okay. Just let's proceed. It's for demonstration. Just key in anything. You can just key in ABC or something. Yeah. Short description of your role. Yeah, and this is important because we want to see what your role is about, whether you understand your role and all that in HR. It also helps in verification. Just key in anything. So because you're not submitting. Yeah, thanks. I like the way the questions are coming. Just put them through there so we can come back to that. Facebook, yes, these ones are critical because they're used for just scanning. Scanning is very important because there are some things judges also look for around you, around your profiles. We can scroll down maybe to the ones that are mandatory, because that way you'll need to key in the links. Your referee's name. Like I said, you'll be self-nominating or you're nominating yourself, you will be need to be a secondment from a referee. So any name, you can put Damaris. I'm actually your referee. You can just put Damaris there. And then, of course, my own title is Miss, Mrs, whichever there. You can put work title, just put OD. Like that. It's just for demonstration purpose. You have to put your right titles there. That's number, referee contacts, referee. Make sure that those are referee contacts for verification. And then it gives you a recommendation letter in case your referee wants to say something, and this is critical, about you and about what you're submitting. They can upload a document or a file there. And then entry date, that is if you're submitting today, we'll probably put today and then click next. You see, it's quite simple there. Then it will lead you now to a page where if you have an initiative, which you need to, with this process has tried to make the quality of submission as best as possible, because one of the recommendations that came through 2021 awards is there was a lot of submission of substandard, I would say. Just someone just submit something. So it has tried to make sure you submit something throughout the process. So submission of your project or initiative, this is where now if you have a great thing you want to submit here, you packaged for the evaluation, this is where you put it. The process here has been sort of broken down to allow you to think through, so you sort of put a comprehensive kind of a submission here. So what's the background information? This is like your own introduction. So who are you? You want to give a snapshot kind of an introduction of Damaris. Who is Damaris? If you want to align it, better. I mean, this is the way you package yourself. So it's a competition, so you want to understand that. So down there, it allows you to give a detailed kind of a summary, and that tells you introduce other more things. There's a guideline there actually given. You can demonstrate your leadership, your HR knowledge, and all that. It's like your own pitch if you want to be noticed and awarded for this space. Number two is about the initiative that you feel you've done. Maybe you've had an initiative you contributed into immensely, or you are the one who introduced it. I don't know what it is. You know it. So you put it there. This is where now you give us the details about that. So brief introduction of that initiative as you know it. There's actually a guidance there of don't leave your outcomes, your objectives of that initiative and all that. There's space for that. Also outline how you measured the impact of that. How did you just say it was good, it was excellent? What is it that you saw or that was experienced? So here is a bit of a stakeholders impact of your initiative and all that. Is the even guideline of 1, 2 there. So it's sort of very, very comprehensive in helping you think through on what to put through. So maybe for the sake of progress, Natasha could just key in ABCD so we can progress on that. Yeah, so we can progress. In those spaces, you will fill in as guided right there. So they're just like small paragraphs depending on how better you want to package yourself. So we click next and go to the next one is attachments. You want to support your submission up there, you can attach whatever it is. If you have a platform or a project you've done, it's online, you can put the links there. If you have a short video, please, it's not supposed to be big, it's guided there, it can only be very small, you can upload it, or even put a link because there's a space for link. There are also in individual categories some requirements for the sake of profile. Your profile, your CV is there. So you upload those ones. So when you look at this is the last part of this form. In case they are mandatory ones, you have to attach. Others are optional, so it's up to you. And then when you upload them, you just click next. When you click next, it gets you to, you can't proceed until you now attach. It will take you to where you have to agree to the terms and conditions of the awards. And when you tick that box, you submit. There's nothing much in the next step. So that's how the process looks like. Now to measure, it's not very different from the other entries. Like when you go to organization, it is more or less the process because they take more or less the same structure for assessment. Yeah, so that's it. It didn't take much, like it was less than 3 minutes. So probably it take you like 5 minutes to fill that process. So having said that, I think we can open the floor for some interactive sessions where we can be able to answer your questions.
Thank you, Damaris, for giving. I see we already have questions in the Q&A, and please alert me when you can't hear me. My internet is very unreliable this morning. We also have a question on the chat. So allow me to just go through the, and Damaris, you can chip in where you.
Okay.
The deadline now is tomorrow, the 18th of November, 2022. We have received requesting that we extend for this meeting, and in the course of the day, we will provide feedback on need gala change the 9, but it's what I can extend the deadline. Nelson asks, who can be said to be of choosing? We have a clear set criteria. But I think in my introduction, I talked about contribution to the HR profession, to organization that you're working with, what you're doing. Damaris can speak to that. Is there a HR professional who stood out countrywide at Kenya Airways night, persuading pilots to return to work? Thousands of passengers was who else to. Also, we have an opportunity individuals to nominate.
Irene, you're
So
quite
it's way-
breaking. I don't know whether it's my side. Let me check.
Sorry?
Yeah, you're breaking a lot. In fact, I've seen even Polycarp is asking whether you are passing through a globe roundabout and someone is talking you. So it's you're breaking a lot.
Okay, Damaris, you can pick the try and switch my gadget.
Okay, so it's on the Q&A. There are others also coming through the chat, but let me just go to the questions. Okay, so I am on the question and answer. So I see now with thousands of HR professionals who can be said to be outstanding, what's the criteria of choosing? Is there HR professional who stood out countrywide this year? I would have voted those ones from Kenya Airways. They went through sleepless nights persuading pilots to return to work. Thousands of passengers stranded. Who else stands out? Okay. Well, this is quite a long one. I think the question is, who can be said to be outstanding? The only process that we can be able to have you recognize and award is through submission. There are no what do you call them, honorary kind of awards this year, where we have observed and people can actually vet some arguments or some, an outstanding thing that the public actually can agree. There isn't that kind of honorary awards, which looks like it's what is Nelson is alluding to. If there's a submission in this assertion that will come through, definitely it will get evaluated and technically viewed through the judging process. And they find it was valid as compared to other submissions. Why not? They will get to be recognized as well. But I'll give also Irene as she comes back and the rest of the technical team to also put their words. We all do in our station. Those who are working, some of us are still searching. There should be a clear-cut criteria. We need to consider some professionals older than us who have worked for 30 years plus criteria. Nigani, sorry for long write-up. Yes, I think it's the same kind of I think from Nelson. Well, just to attempt to answer this one, Nelson, when you look, because you look like through a lot on the individual categories, your write-up here or your descriptive question here, there are only fixed number of categories right there, and each category is sort of reflecting a certain level of HR as an HR, especially in levels or years of experience. For example, when you go to the HR director of the year, you'll find there are certain category, I mean, a specific level where this person can only be picked from. There is a certain extensive years of experience that this person can come from. So when you talk about investment in terms of years and experience, yes, I think so far there's demonstration of responding to that. Not saying that moving forward, the category will not open to other or a deeper in look into that. Like you're saying, probably the new people coming on board in the space. But also when you look into like HR trendsetter, those are people in between. They're not neither directors nor even closer. I mean, lower than entry levels. So you just sort of try to give opportunities in terms of where you are as an HR, whatever level you are in, whether entry, mid-level, or top level. There is a couple of awards I've observed within the individual category that are responding to that. Now, each category is, of course, evaluated against itself. You're not evaluating a trendsetter against an HR director, definitely not, because the thresholds are very different, and the criteria and expectation around that is very different, even by merely looking at the descriptive descriptions and definitions of the awards themselves. Yeah, it's feedback, so probably we'll see on how we can extrapolate a lot. How will the voting be managed this year? Okay. Yeah, by reading that question, I feel you experienced last year as well. So last year it was hectic. Yes, this year there was a lot of changes from what approach it was used last year. This year there is only voting, there is only one vote for one participant or one member. So it's like just the usual voting what we do in our general elections. So Damaris, I'm voting for who? Let me see the next question. Bernard Abassa. I can only vote once for Bernard, you know, and there's only one vote for one person. So that tells you there's no money. It's just getting the voice to of the people around the impact that these nominees say they have done. Do we agree with it? So we're just giving our voice, and that helps also in determining and galvanizing who really the winner comes, because now our voices comes into play as well as HR. So yes, the award idea is a great initiative. However, the aspect of voting simply waters it down to populism and not objectivity. Technical assessment and validation of what is submitted should be scored, and the highest score to, yes, thanks, that's really good. Voting brings a political element in the process. Okay, this sorry, seem to be having something. So sorry, just to come back into this, there's some element of truth, because this is a discussion that we had with different parties who are given recommendations to the Institute around the awards. And voting, definitely, first of all, the process, like I mentioned, for evaluating these awards is very objective. It's very verifiable, and this is something you can also test yourself as a member. Number two is voting is a process of actually telling the institute that, you know, that we've given, Damaris is a nominee, for example, in HR trendsetter, and these are what trendsetter expectations or the criteria for someone to actually be a trendsetter in this award looks like, and this is what Damaris has done. You people as the members of the Institute or HR tribe, do you think that's true? I think that's valid. We need to actually put our voice out there and say, no, we don't think, we haven't seen that. It's not quite, you know, it is like putting the voice of the members and listening to the voice of the members. So we feel it's important actually to listen to the voice of the members through this process. And the one way to do that is to allow the voting. The restructuring of the voting was actually to make sure everybody gets an opportunity, and this is just one opportunity, and do away with any other many or other credits that you can put like it was last year. So the other way to make sure It's not a populism kind of an agenda. It's the way the scoring is done. I think I mentioned that from the onset, that the technical assessment, which is a submission and your initiatives and your overall description of yourself with as a package, is what takes the day. Voting takes around 20% of the whole score. That is 100% think that it will just be 20%. I hope I've answered that, but in case Irene and other colleagues can add on. Anonymous, the next time, add one more option, organizations with outstanding HR professionals. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a good one. I would actually want to hear more about it. I'm impressed by HR in some organizations who have done outstanding work, like Kenya in the limelight, like Kenya Airways HR professionals. I don't know their names. Is there a way you would have options for organization with outstanding HR department? I like I think they deserve others like EPZ. Okay, good. This is a good option. This is a good one. Yes. And I agree. Probably moving forward would have a category probably for HR departments or HR teams. Yes, but this is good feedback. I really maybe moving forward would be considered. Can we have a mini demo of mentors? Yes, by the way, there's an award for mentors. Yes, so can we have a mini demo on mentors? Are you talking about the form? I don't know, Muya maybe would clarify on that. HRM staff, its council members, going contract are not eligible to participate. Yes, that's true. They are not eligible to participate. Anybody with a binding contract, the institute is not allowed to participate. Clarify on the affiliates. What would that cover? This is under the T terms and conditions. Okay. I would think affiliates is by relation. For example, if you are an official at the branch level, you are actually a member of the institute by affiliation, all right? If you have a contract, maybe that is running through a span through the time the HR awards are happening, you are actually an affiliate. So you may not want to. The reason is the perception that you might have a privilege information as much as the awards are concerned, and you don't want to compromise in terms of, objectivity of this process, though you will not be able to participate. Thank you for removing the option of voting. Yeah, yes, I think I mentioned that. Kindly mention some of the awards that one is likely to get. Please kindly mention some of the awards that one is likely to get. I'm not sure whether I get you, George. All the awards will be awarded depending on the ones who wins and submissions done. So all the awards, anybody is likely to get or win. If you mean, if get means win, all the awards will have finalists, and there are always 3 with the leader and the number 1 and number 2. So maybe the question you are answering are from where I seem to be lost. From the question and answer. I'm just scrolling on question and answer. Yes, I'm just answering them verbally, not keying in. This year, this voting will, okay, good. So I don't seem to have more from the question and answer. Irene, do you see any more from your side or from Facebook or somewhere?
Thank you, Damaris. I hope now I can be heard.
Yes, you're very clear now.
Okay, so I had to switch machines and location, so I'm not able to see the old chart.
The chart. Okay.
Yeah, but currently I've responded to a number that I had read earlier. There was a question about, can we extend the submission deadline, which I indicated that we will regroup as a planning committee after this session and consider whether we can extend from tomorrow, which is the 18th of November, because that has a ripple effect towards the 9th of December, which is the awards gala. So we will communicate that in the course of the day. Someone had asked about why we have a submission payment, and we have a flyer that's on your screen at the moment, which indicates the different categories as well as the payment details. For an organization, the submission is 7,000. For an individual, it's 3,000. My response to this would be, it costs money to run awards. And this is actually a subsidized rate if you look at the market. It's very expensive to run awards. And secondly, it's also a commitment. You want people, this takes a lot of time. If you see anybody who has looked at the document, it takes a while to submit. So you want people who are serious about making the submissions. So one, it's a commitment. Two, it's to support the awards because it's expensive to run awards. I think I'll leave that at that. Damaris has explained about voting. Last year, we had a challenge with voting when we had opened it up for paid voting. With the advice of the judging panel, as well as the leadership of the institution, voting will only be a member has one vote for each category. And we still are persuaded that voting is an important segment in the awards, and especially for the individual categories, because we are looking, there are people who are good on paper, but their experiences with other people may not be the same. So it is a way of members to endorse as well. Like Damaris has said, it counts for a segment of the judging criteria, not the entire thing. The technical element of it and the submissions made count for a bigger percentage. So we still are persuaded, even as we figure out how best to carry out HR awards, that voting is an important element for member participation and also for the endorsement of the individuals who are presented to be the best in some of these categories and also organizations. Which is the other question that I may remember? There's a question around criteria. I don't know whether Damaris, you have highlighted the key elements that we're looking for as far as the criteria is concerned. I remember Nelson's question around how to select the best. I think maybe I can emphasize, Damaris said you can self-nominate or you can be nominated by others. So Nelson, if you feel persuaded that somebody at Kenya Airways is deserving of this award, please feel free to nominate them and demonstrate that indeed they're deserving of any of these awards. Damaris, I think we're getting inquiries around the difference between best, trend center, and mentor. Someone says I missed the explanation. Damaris, you'll take that one, the difference between trend center and mentor. Barnabas is saying, I missed explanation of payment. Did you clarify kindly? Yes, payment one is a commitment from the individual as well as the organization. And secondly, it is to support the awards process. It is an expensive process and it is a practice also world over. People pay for submissions of awards, and this is even a subsidized rate so that we are able to deliver the process to the best of our ability. Could you kindly answer the question on the top? I am not sure which one that is, Faith. How do we pay? There was a flyer that was on screen. Maybe Natasha, you could share that again. We have M-Pesa and we have our bank details where you can make your payments. Madangani, Damaris, this is to you. He was asking about the form. So maybe you could demonstrate the mentor's form. How do you pay? In the chats, I also responded. Our judging panel is quite diverse. We have nominations from professional bodies, from the Council of Governors, because we have entries that touch on counties, from the Ministry of Public Service, because of the public sector, from private sector. We are getting support from KEPSA and CAM, and we have partnered also with the Institute of Internal Auditors, who will be observing the process and advising us on how best to improve our awards. Let me see whether I've missed any. In mentorship, I would have preferred coaching and mentorship. Where do coaches fall under? Damaris, we still need clarity there. I wanted to know if you'll actually verify the nice stories of success. For example, I mentored or coached someone. Will you go to the ground to verify? That is Madangani asking. Damaris, you will take that. Kindly respond on data protection. Faith, if you look at the website, IHRM website, and the portal where we have awards, we have different documentation that is there, and we encourage you to read. We have documentation that talks about the terms and conditions. It includes also data protection, and we have made the commitment to protect data. Anybody that is handling this has signed non-disclosure agreements, and including the judging panel. And as an institution, we also have a framework on data protection. So we are committed to ensuring that your data will be protected, but please also read the terms and conditions on the website, which also stipulates who cannot participate in the awards. The payment flow is not clear. How do I reference the payment to my specific application? Say I pay, how do you link it to my submission? Once you pay, if it's M-Pesa, you write HR awards. We are able to see from the back end the category you applied for. But just for ease, you could drop us your proof of payment on hrm.org.ke. That would be easier. For banks, there's a narrative you write when you're saying what your payment is for, so you can include that in the narrative. Will HRM share a report of all the participants, or at least the winners? We will receive applications, and then stage 1, there is elimination. So not everybody that applies will even qualify to go before the judges. So the people that go before the judges and are to be voted for, that list will be published. And Damaris can speak more to that. Damaris, do you want to respond to some of them?
Okay, yes, Irene, I could just clarify on some you were indicating up there. I don't know what Natasha is trying to share here, because you just see a screen with lists of invoices. Maybe you're sharing the wrong one. Now, I want to touch a bit about someone who was asking about the mentor award and the difference between the HR mentor and trendsetter. One thing I would encourage is please go back and read the descriptions and the definitions of these awards. Because for example, when you look at the HR trendsetter of the year, it talks about, it actually will give you the details of what the judges will be looking and keen to see you demonstrate. And this is someone who's in the forefront of trend setting in the body of HR. It will talk about analytics, like the trending, setting the trends and being part of the trends we're seeing in HR. Analytics, technology, new ideas and new innovative ways of doing things. So there's a lot of innovation around that and creativity around this HR trendsetter. Unlike in the mentorship, because mentorship, you demonstrate that you have actually moved a person or a team of people from point A to point B within the minimum time frame. There is 3 months, and that has to be actually demonstrated. When I say demonstrated, you know, it means you have to support this submission. And then there is a point where those people you've moved will have to put their voice in by submitting also their reference or a letter of acknowledging, saying the impact they have actually accrued from that process of mentorship. And there's a lot of other indicators indicated right there in that definition of each one of them. For example, just tying to what I think is Muya is asking, whether if I've mentored some people, how will you verify? Will you actually go down and verify? One of the things this submission, especially for this mentorship and reading through, is you realize there's a way it is verifying itself. It ensures that in the process of submission, you don't submit your voice only. You will have to actually have the people mentored put their voice in it. And that's where when you look at the form, there are actually more than 5 submission slots. So the way you use them, it's up to you. Like I said, it's a competition on the way you package it. So if you I'm assuming, for example, I'm in the panel of judging and I say I've mentored maybe 50 HR or whatever professionals, from this time to this time, these were the objectives and these were the mentoring needs, and the people wanted to learn ABCD by the end of the 4th or the 7th month. This is what it was. Is that what your mentees are saying now when they're submitting? Because that's where we'll be verifying. Now, when you look in the form again, there is details you're giving about the mentor or mentee, I mean the mentee you're talking about. And when they are submitting their own view and impact and acknowledgement, for example, is they leave details there. So if I am a judge and I'm not certain about what you're saying as the entrant and what this mentor is saying, I'll just go scroll down there and pick the contact of the mentee and have a conversation and verify through that process. I mean, there are also other ways you can verify, but sort of it's holistic. It has contact, it has emails, it has your handles. So it depends on what the panel wants to actually go down and verify. So it is going to happen. It's a process. It's within the judging process of these awards. I hope I've answered those two regarding those two awards. I don't know what Irene you had said. I should clarify.
Someone wanted to look at the form for mentorship. Maybe we could just run through the form one last time.
Yes.
If someone has a question, they could just ask. Nelson is asking, add the payment details at the end of the form for clarity. The payment details are available on the information pack on the website, but on the individual forms on Google Forms, they're not there. But on the information pack, they are. But we will also add it on the face of the portal, I think, for ease of access.
Okay, I think that's clear.
Okay. So if we could demonstrate the form, then hear from ED and bring this to a close, unless someone has another question.
Yes, and there are many ways. Actually, you can still continue interacting and asking questions through the email. Maybe Irene, you can give us on the email and the contacts, so you can still continue the conversation beyond this time or this sensitization webinar.
Okay, so the email that you can reach us on is hrAwards@ihrm.or.ke. We are able to respond to that with ease. Once you make your payment and you feel you probably do not link it to us in a way that we can identify you and link you to the category, you can still drop the proof of payment there. We will pick it up with our finance team and follow up. What else? The awards gala dinner is on the 9th of December. That's the second Friday of December at the Movenpick Westland from 5 p.m. And it's going to be a wonderful, exciting experience. Those who were there last year can remember. A few lessons from last year, time management. This time we will start at exactly 5. We don't want to keep you so late, so that you also enjoy your evening. So we look forward to seeing you on the 9th. We'll be sharing the theme as well as the dress code so that you can show up looking great. You can have your teams reserve a table. A corporate table is 40,000, a table of 8, and an individual is 5,000 shillings. And we look forward to your support. And also sponsorship. We have various sponsorship categories where you can sponsor a category, you can have an opportunity to present an award, and also to have visibility at the dinner, which we are targeting 5,000, not 5,000, 500 people to be in attendance. So Damaris, over to you, then we can come to ED.
Okay, I think it was Natalie. You can share the form, then I can explain as we move. That's specifically for the coaching award, right? So Muya, it's the same process here because that one is under the mentor. Yes. You can scroll, so we just keep on selecting. I hope Muya is on board. So instead of choosing HR Rising Star right there, you choose HR Mentor of the Year. It's down in the last one. Good. So you go next. So the mentor of the year, self-nomination. I'm assuming, for example, Mathangani, you want to nominate yourself. So next. So here you just give your details as a mentor, as Mathangani, like that, the way, just forget about the details of Natalia. So you give your details here as Mathangani, the mentor, okay? So it's okay, let's proceed. We just put Mathangani, I think it's easy to understand there. So you'll put his details. We put Natasha for us to be able to proceed. Yes. So this is data you need to fill in right there as you move. We are done this, so I hope you hadn't missed that. So when you click next from your data or your bio data, it takes you now to the submission of your initiative. I assume if you want to submit a well-packaged initiative around mentorship, this is where you will put it. So you give us your background information as Mathangani more as a mentor. Just scroll Natalia. So the background of Mathangani, the mentor, you can give us a snapshot of Mathangani there. B, it's the detailed summary of you. I mean, it's detailed because you have to demonstrate different aspects of you as a mentor that might be of importance to assessment of this. Then this other part is about now you introduce this initiative on mentorship that you want to submit and it to be assessed. And you go in details. What are the objectives that made you to do this initiative? Maybe what are the outcomes that you're looking towards achieving and all that? What's the purpose? Just put it there the way you packaged it. Outline the measurable impact of, let's say you're mentoring maybe executives, so maybe 20 of them or whatever number it is. So what is the impact? How are you measuring the impact? For example, I'm just giving random things because this depends on the way you package your initiative. It's a competition anyway. Pay attention to the benefits, impact of the initiatives had on the business, if it's for organization, people you're mentoring, or whatever impact it is to themselves, the people, or customers. Package the impact right there. That's what B allows you to do. And number 3, it gives you an opportunity to actually pitch yourself. What makes you think you actually fit to be number 1 in this category? So you can put a pitch right there over 750 words, which is good. And then you click next. So when you go to next, here you have an opportunity now to support your submission from the other page. If you have a contract, you've done it. If you have what you call a project entry end certificate, the ones you're given after end of the project, you can do. I mean, there's a lot you can attach here depending on what you think will add or support your document right here. And there are different entries. However, there are these ones you have to submit because for verification of what you said about who you are right there, and a lot of things. And that's one of them is a curriculum vitae, and the other one is your ID, of course, for other verifications and your profile. Current passport, we use this one very much if you're part of the top nominees, because that's a photo that goes right there in the nominee list. Yes, and other testimonials. So it's as easy as that. But as easy as it looks, it depends on the quality of what you put there, because that's what the judges will evaluate, and that's what they'll use to actually score you and rank you around any other person that's also submits against it. So that's it, Mathangani. The next, when you click next, it takes you to where some people are asking the terms, the general terms and conditions, because you have to accept. If you don't accept, it doesn't go through, because we safeguard your data and everything else. So you have also to agree your part. So that's the next part, just ticking a box, and that's it. I hope that's a bit clear, Muya. You can take it down now, Natasha. So I think from my side, that's it. Please keep the conversation going. As you've seen, the process is very easy. You could be sitting there and you could be the person we're actually looking for. As you can see, just go ahead, submit, nominate that person you think has done a fantastic job, except myself, because it will not even pass the initial stage. I'll be stricken from there because the fact that I'm actually participating here. But go ahead, nominate your stars in your team in the categories you think they actually fit in. Encourage actually your directors to nominate your CEO if you think they're actually people focused because of what you think they have done. Nominate them, nominate your CEO, encourage your HR directors to do the same as well. So there you have it. I hope you've gotten some good insights on how to go and do your entry submissions. From here, I just hand it to Irene. Probably then we hear from the ED. Then we'll close.
All right. Thank you, Damaris, for your support on this initiative. I think I have exhausted mine, but we are available. Please feel free to reach out and we can support you. Madangani says it's now clear, so thank you. So we look forward to receiving your submission. Madam ED, you could just share your thoughts as we bring this to a close.
ED, you're mute.
She had a meeting at 11, so I need to confirm whether she has joined that meeting. Give me a minute because I'm on a different end of the office.
Okay. Maybe for Winnie Mandela, as we wait for the ED to reconnect, you're asking demonstrate submission for state cooperation. When you actually click on that form, it doesn't look very different from the organization form. The category for organization form. You will find details for the one who is submitting, who is nominating. For example, if you're the one nominating or filling the entry on behalf of the state corporation, you will put your details there. Then there's an option where we need to put details for the head of HR within that state corporation. That is also for verification purpose. And then the other section there, it will now lead you to where you want to submit the initiative that you think the state corporation has implemented and that it deserves an award or an assessment for the purpose of awarding. And the level, the process is more or less the same. There's introduce the initiative, put the objectives, the process of implementation, methodology, and all that, and then the impact to stakeholders, the way you communicate and all that. So you just follow that process in section 3. And then after you fill section 3, support your initiative. It will give you that part of where you can attach documents, you can touch other things that you feel actually they can help the panel to see and appraise your initiative better, and then accept terms. That's just a process. It's not very different.
Damaris, I'm back.
Yes.
Thank you. Madangani, you are seeing your question about extending the timelines for submission. Please allow us to consult. We will get back in the course of the day. We had to get Madam Kuresh out of another meeting, so I hope she can hear me now.
Okay.
ED, over to you. Please say something, then we can bring this to a close.
Thank you so much. I can see that my screen is dark. I always love working with my videos on. That way I can interact with you guys better. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for making time to join this very important conversation. I know my colleagues have covered all your questions, but something that I really wanted to touch on so that we are on the same page. These awards, since we revamped it, we're going to have the 3rd edition on 9th December. Very important. And the reason why we do this, if you look to the documentations, we have the vision and the mission for these awards. Having said that, why should you take part in these awards? It's very important. And I think as HR professionals, we don't beat our drum louder as it's supposed to be. What are the benefits, the value adds of becoming winning in one of the awards, either for yourself or even for the different organizations you work for? First of all, it gives us opportunity for us to celebrate you as the HR community for what you've done and also the achievements you've made. And it also boosts the morale of your workmates. Very important to note that, because the next time it challenges everyone to be more creative and more innovative. So it's good that we approach from that angle on why should I be awarded. And also it gives you chance to share platforms. You've seen our previous award winners, especially the ones we awarded in 2021. They're all over, and I think I wish they were here to give testimony. Results speaks for itself, and the way it boosts your morale when you're sharing the best practices and the way everyone wants you in their events, especially within the professionals, very key. And then it also helps you to benchmark with others. I mean, what is it that this group is doing better than me? Although while benchmarking is good, as you benchmark, you need to make sure that you aim to be better than them, because once you benchmark, it means you will be stuck to where they have started and maybe they moved steps forward. My part in short is that to the more than 100 of you who joined and those who remained, we hear you. And I want to emphasize on one thing that have come up. Why online voting? Unlike last time, this time we will not charge online voting. Please note, you've heard the categories of the judges we have. Our processes will be audited as we have observers from the Institute of Internal Auditors who will be joining us to observe how we're judging and all that. As we go through all the documentations for everyone who has submitted for the different categories, we need to ensure that it's not just the voice of 7 HR professionals. That is why we put it out for the popular vote for those who know you. And there is a question someone raised here that what if someone has some moral and ethical background? So those are some of the things that you will help us flash out, even as we do our background checks as the judges, because we will have multi-skilled judges. We will also be looking and counting on you guys on the feedback. Those who we are going to put to vote is the ones who have met the criteria as set in the awards, and also those who have submitted the right documentations, which are verifiable, which we've put through different checks. So please, let's celebrate each other. Let's vote for the best. We all know that who is who within here. For those of us who will come, please take time, go to their different social media and see what was their contribution. And I say their contribution, just because I'm in business making money, that doesn't mean that I am contributing. So see what are the investment I am making to this industry. So I have no doubt, as we even take the judges take the highest percentage, your vote will count. And when you say 20% is collective, yeah, even if you had 100 votes, that only will account for 20%. So there's a way that we aggregate. We've already set the criteria and all that. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to join us as we celebrate each other on 9th at Moving Peak Hotel in Westlands. Let's continue making impact. Let's continue celebrating each other. And thank you so much. I know there are very senior people from the industry who have joined us today. And I would like to categorically mention someone who was one of the founding members of the Institute and also a former council member and currently a commissioner at KRA, Bernard Ambassa. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for your contribution. Asanteni sana. Please vote. Please submit your applications. I would like to put a disclaimer, even as the committee meets, because of the intensity of reviewing those documents, the process that we'll have to go through, there is very slim chance for us to extend. So after this call, get to business, nominate yourself, nominate those ones. Like I've really loved the way you've pointed out KQ. Please nominate them. And we'll review and look at what is it that they've done that stood out for you. So please, I would like to encourage you between now and tomorrow, make a deliberate effort to vote for to nominate others and also nominate your organization and nominate yourself. Thank you so much. Over to you, Irene.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Edie, for summarizing that perfectly. We are way past time. We want to allow you to get to your day and to get to those submissions. So thank you so much for taking the time to join this forum. Share the information with your colleagues. It's available on the website, and we are also available to support you. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to receiving your nominations and also to having you on the 9th of December in Westland. Thank you, Damaris, also, and Daniel and Natasha for your support on this. Asante.
So have a good day, everyone.